Hi, it's Michele Replogle with Coldwell Realty with this week's market update. So I'm going to go over the normal things that I talk about, statistics, and I always touch a little bit on interest rates, but I'm also going to talk a little bit about a phone call I received this week, which was very interesting. Remember, the statistics that I give you and all the information I give you is local. Real estate is local. You're going to go online, you're going to go to Google, and you're going to look up real estate, and you're going to get all this stuff, or you're going to be in, Apple News or wherever you get your news, and they're going to give you real estate information that's very broad, often national. And that information comes to you, and you think, oh, well, real estate's doing this or that. Well, yes and no. Some of that information's good, but some of that information really is useless in a local market. You need to find out what's happening locally. Real estate is local. So I'm going to give you local information, starting with the statistics. So the Santa Cruz housing snapshot for this week is 40 new listings, 50 pending and contingent, sold 50, expired and canceled 10. That's normal in we're going into fall and we're going into winter, and that's actually normal. But also there's always that time when the market's been really hot where you'll see the listings come off because the seller couldn't quite get what they thought they could, or their home really wasn't up to buyers' expectations at any price. And then some sellers, they just get, they get tired and they just need a break. Active inventory is 206. That's really a bummer. Now, I don't know how that breaks down into a monthly supply, but if you have 50 sold in 1 week and you have an active inventory of 200, you basically have 4 weeks supply. Ouch. That's not a good indicator for pricing for buyers. Still great news for sellers. And I want to stress some of the local stuff that happens here to affect this inventory, to affect the prices, and how that all plays out in Santa Cruz County. But first, let me just talk a little bit about interest rates. Not sure you saw my little short on YouTube. I don't think I got it onto Instagram, but it was just me yelling about interest rates because I've been in the business 16 years. And every year, the real estate gurus that we follow tell us interest rates are rising. Go grab your buyers, go grab your sellers. Interest rates are going to go up. Everything's going to change. Well, you know what? Every year, it never really happened. Now, there were a couple years that the interest rates did go up, but actually they were already kind of high, so it wasn't that big of a transition. But right now, we've seen as low as 2.75 on a 30-year fixed loan, right? And now we're starting to see 3 and an 8. Okay, not quite the increase that we thought that was. So, not really sure about that. But they are going to go up. I do believe it. I just think that every year they cry wolf, and it's just frustrating. So what I recommend is if you want to buy or sell, you go look at what's going on in the market. You call a local realtor. You get some really great information. You make the decisions that's best for you and your family at that time, and don't base it on what the interest rates are doing. Anyway, let me get into a call that I had this week. I had a call from a gal. She was from Southern California, and she and her family had decided that they're in a ministry, and they've decided that the real estate market in Santa Cruz is going to crash, and they want to buy foreclosures. And she had all this information she was basing it on, and it was her brother, who's a broker in Philadelphia, the stock market, and some other index that she was saying, and I honestly couldn't catch the name of it. She kept saying it, and I didn't understand it. I'd never really heard of it. But in her mind, she had decided that the real estate crash is coming. Now, here's a couple things you need to think about when you're worried about a real estate crash coming. And that would be drilling in again to the local market to see what's going on there. The number one indicator is employment. Now, we know in Santa Cruz, employment is not a great number. It's just never been a good number because we don't have any real industry here. We have a lot of cottage business that happens here and a lot of small business that happens here. But we don't have, like we used to have, like Wrigley, Lipton's. We used to have some very large companies here. But we have 40 minutes away, the absolute juggernaut of all business, nestled in this little burg called Santa Clara. Now, those people are very gainfully employed. But wait, this gal says, they're all moving out of California because they don't want to live in the Silicon Valley anymore and they can work anywhere. Well, for that, I would say dig into what Google and Facebook are really saying between the lines, because they are not letting everybody just work from home. They said that in the beginning because, things were really new with COVID, but there's a lot of people getting called back to the office. So I wouldn't hang my hat on that. The other thing is supply. You need at least 6 months or more supply of housing to change the pricing. You need more houses, less buyers. Right now, as I had stated, we don't have a lot of houses, and I'm pretty sure we got a few buyers. And then affordability. So house prices, they will change with the interest rates, but once they get to benchmarks and those homes get bought with equity and affordability for that person who bought it, you don't see it go back down, because that other buyer comes in and says, well, they've been paying 1.4 for it. I want a house. I'll pay 1.42 for it. So be careful with those kind of numbers and how you can manipulate them to believe what you want to believe, but you really need to dig in and look at the local market. Right now, interest rates are low. Affordability is still good. We know that we have people coming in. They have money from their parents for down payments. They have their company giving them bonuses. I can only speak to Santa Cruz County, but I will tell you, our market is not crashing anytime soon based on those indicators. And if you look at a report for 95060, our median sales price is 1.3, median days on the market 13, 25 new listings, and they always sell 100 to 103% over ask. It would be nice to think that's a crash, and you like to think that might be a crash, but I will tell you, with that kind of pricing and that kind of demand, there's 25 new listings this month. There was 29 last month. It's just not meeting the demand. So that's my rant for this week. Of course, if you want any more information, I encourage you to call me or subscribe and comment. I'd love to see you there too. And don't forget my podcast, The Realtor Lady. I'm going to have a special bonus episode in a couple weeks, so I'm pretty excited about that. Anyway, bye.